Chapter 37, The Hidden Path. The forest grew denser as they moved deeper, the towering trees blocking out much of the daylight. Their footsteps were muffled by the thick layer of leaves beneath their boots, and the air felt heavier with every step they took. Decima's senses were on high alert, the subtle pull of magic still vibrating through the ground beneath her feet, leading her further into the heart of the forest. Beside her, Daniel walked with a quiet confidence, his gaze scanning the surroundings, though his expression was unreadable. Decima couldn't help but wonder what he was thinking, what he was feeling as they ventured deeper into the unknown. The bond between them hummed with energy, a steady pulse that seemed to grow stronger as they moved further from the clearing, where the curse had been broken. The magic was calling to them, urging them forward, and Decima knew that there was no turning back now. "We're getting close," Daniel said suddenly, his voice cutting through the silence. "I can feel it." Decima nodded, though she wasn't entirely sure what he meant. They had been walking for hours, with no sign of what they were seeking, but something in the air had changed. It was subtle, a shift that had started when they passed the last grove of trees. But it was undeniable. The magic was intensifying, pulsing with a rhythmic, almost hypnotic quality. "Close to what?" she asked, her curiosity piqued. "The dragons," Daniel replied, his voice low. "They're closer than we think. But there's something else, something more." Decima raised an eyebrow, glancing at him. "What do you mean, something more?" Daniel didn't respond immediately, but his gaze flickered to the dense trees ahead. He seemed to be searching for something, his brow furrowing as though he was sensing something just out of reach. "The magic," he said at last, his tone filled with uncertainty. "It's not just tied to the dragons. There's something ancient, something older than them, and it's connected to us, to our bond." Decima felt a shiver run down her spine. She hadn't realized until that moment how little they truly understood about the forces at play here. They had been so focused on breaking the curse, on finding the dragons, that they hadn't stopped to consider the larger implications of the magic they were dealing with. "We need to be careful," she murmured, her voice tinged with concern. "This feels bigger than we thought." Daniel nodded, his expression grim. "I know, but we can't stop now. We're too far in. We need to find the heart of this magic." As if in response to his words, the ground beneath their feet seemed to tremble ever so slightly, a subtle shift that was almost imperceptible. Decima glanced at Daniel, her heart pounding in her chest. She could feel it too. The magic was waking, stirring, and they were on the verge of something monumental. Suddenly, the trees ahead parted, revealing a narrow path that had been hidden from view until now. It wasn't much more than a faint trail, barely visible under the thick blanket of fallen leaves and moss, but there was no mistaking its significance. "Is this it?" Decima asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Daniel stepped forward, his hand brushing the air in front of him, as if testing the magic that seemed to pulse along the path. His eyes narrowed, his senses stretched to their limits. After a long moment, he nodded. "This is it," he confirmed. "This is where we need to go." Decima's heart skipped a beat. The path before them was unlike anything she had seen before. It was as if the forest itself had opened up to reveal it, a hidden route that had been waiting for them to find. The trees along the path seemed to stand taller, their trunks thicker, as if they were guardians to whatever lay beyond. With a deep breath, Decima stepped onto the path, feeling the energy in the air shift around her. The magic was stronger here, almost overwhelming, but there was a sense of purpose now, a guiding force that urged her forward. As they walked along the narrow trail, the trees seemed to close in around them, the light growing dimmer with each step. The air was thick with the scent of earth and ancient magic, and Decima could feel the weight of centuries pressing down on them. The forest was alive, and it was watching. Suddenly, the path curved sharply to the right, and before them stood a massive stone archway, its surface covered in ancient runes that glowed faintly with a golden light. The arch seemed to pulse with energy, and Decima could feel the magic radiating from it, a force that was both familiar and foreign at the same time. "This is it," Daniel said quietly, his voice filled with awe. "This is the gateway." Decima's heart raced as she gazed up at the archway. It was unlike anything she had ever seen, its design intricate and ancient, a testament to the magic that had shaped this place. She could feel the power of the gateway, the promise of something greater on the other side. "We're not just walking into the unknown," she said, her voice tight with anticipation. "We're walking into history." Daniel's hand brushed against hers, a silent reassurance as they stood together before the arch. They had come this far, and there was no turning back now. Whatever lay beyond, they would face it together. With one last look at each other, they stepped through the archway, and everything changed.